Hey, welcome to a new video. The world is full of mysteries, and on the internet, we also regularly come across videos that make us wonder how this is possible. There's still so many things on Earth that we can't explain and don't have answers to. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. The story of Pan Am Flight 914 is a popular urban legend that has been circulating for many years. According to the legend, a commercial airplane disappeared in 1955 and reappeared 37 years later in 1992. The crew and passengers were still on board, and they weren't aware of the passage of time. The plane took off from New York City with 57 passengers and 4 crew members on board, bound for Miami, Florida. However, shortly after takeoff, the plane disappeared from radar and was never seen again. The disappearance led to a massive search effort, but no trace of the plane or its passengers was found. Then, in 1992, the plane suddenly appeared in Caracas, Venezuela, with all passengers and crew members still on board. This has led people to suggest that the plane flew through a wormhole and ended up in a different reality. D.B. Cooper is the name given to an unidentified man who hijacked a Boeing 727 aircraft on November 24, 1971. The hijacking took place between Portland, Oregon and Seattle, Washington, and is one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in American history. During the hijacking, Cooper demanded $200,000 in ransom and 4 parachutes, which he used to jump out of the aircraft while it was in the air. Cooper's whereabouts and fate remain unknown to this day, and the case has never been solved. One of the most remarkable aspects of the case is that Cooper managed to successfully jump out of the aircraft and completely disappear. His identity remains a mystery and has inspired numerous theories and speculations. Some experts believe that Cooper may have been an experienced parachutist or former military personnel, while others suggest he might have had insider knowledge of the aviation industry. The elephant's foot is something you definitely should not see. It's an extremely dangerous mass of highly radioactive material that formed during the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Even approaching it for a short time can result in a lethal dose of radiation, making it one of the most hazardous radioactive objects in the world. This massive lump of corium is a highly radioactive and melted mix of nuclear fuel and reactor materials that formed during the Chernobyl disaster in 1986. The mass is named after its distinctive shape, which reportedly resembled an elephant's foot. It has a black, glassy appearance and is extremely dense. It was formed when the reactor of the nuclear power plant exploded, releasing large amounts of radioactive material into the environment. The corium flowed through the reactor and eventually solidified in the basement of the reactor building. According to certain estimates, radiation levels in the vicinity of this site are so high that it can lead to death if someone stays near it for only a few minutes. The term Anunnaki purse is used in a Sumerian mythology to describe a mysterious handbag that is often depicted in ancient artworks and engravings. The origin and meaning of the Anunnaki purse are not entirely clear, and over the years, various theories and speculations have emerged. Some believe that the handbag is a symbol of wealth, power, or fertility. The Anunnaki were believed to be a group of gods responsible for the creation of the world and humanity. According to some scholars, the Anunnaki purse symbolizes the power and influence of the Anunnaki in human affairs. The handbag is often depicted in Sumerian art alongside the gods and other important figures. These significant figures often hold the Anunnaki purse, suggesting its importance. But beyond these depictions, the true origin and purpose of the handbag remains a mystery. In August 2019, a man with a television on his head was captured on a security camera, leaving an old television at someone's front door. This happened in the middle of the night in a suburb of Richmond, Virginia, in the United States. Now, of course, it's very strange why the man had a television on his head, but the story gets even weirder. He didn't stop at one television, because he would have put no less than 60 televisions on everyone's porch who lived in the neighborhood. On one of the security cameras, we even see the man waving, so he knew he was being filmed. But what the point of leaving old televisions behind is unclear. People in the comments were saying that the man probably had no bad intentions, but it's still pretty creepy. It remains a mystery to this day who this person was, and why he left the televisions on many people's porches. The police eventually took away all the televisions, and they would continue to investigate to find out who this man was, and find him. There's a good chance you've heard about the unexplained lights called the Hesiodolin before. However, I've never talked about them in the videos before, so this event fits nicely into this list, because after all, it's still a mystery. The Hessdalen lights have been occurring in Norway for decades, and in the 1980s, they were even observed 20 times a week. UFOologists believe that these 12-kilometer-long lights are of foreign origin. While a somewhat boring and more complicated explanation is that some kind of plasma creates the lights, others think that it's caused by lightning, or it has to do with an electric field or gases. Whatever it is, this mystery is not 100% solved. So we can only guess who or what creates these unexplained lights every year. Recently, a video went viral that was recorded in San Juan County in the US state of Utah. A mysterious monolith had been found standing somewhere in a canyon of a desert. It was noticed and reported by biologists aboard a helicopter. They were counting sheep when the metal pillars suddenly caught their attention. After some investigation, it was discovered that the 3-meter-high metal pillar had been installed in 2016, but thus was not discovered until 4 years later. The identity of whoever erected the thing in the desert remains a great mystery. It's also puzzling as to what the monolith was built for. Some people believe that the monolith has something to do with UFOs and aliens. The monolith was removed from the site a few days after it went viral on the internet, and it's unfortunately still unknown why the monolith stood in the desert for all these years. One of the most fascinating artifacts discovered in the tomb of the Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun is a sword made of iron. What makes the sword so special is that recent research has shown that the iron used to make the sword is of extraterrestrial origin, making it an alien material. The sword was found next to the mummy of the pharaoh by archaeologist Howard Carter in 1925. However, it wasn't until 2016 that researchers were able to conduct a detailed analysis of the metal in the sword. The result of the analysis confirmed that the iron in the sword was likely of extraterrestrial origin, and came from a meteorite that struck Earth over 4,000 years ago. This finding makes the sword an extraordinarily rare and valuable artifact, as it's one of the few examples of ancient weapons made of meteorite iron. The discovery of the extraterrestrial origin of the sword adds to the mystery surrounding the reign of the pharaoh who ruled ancient Egypt. Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 2501 was a commercial flight that disappeared on June 23, 1950, during its flight from New York City to Seattle. The aircraft was carrying 58 passengers and crew members, and it disappeared at some point over Lake Michigan. One of the most notable aspects of this disappearance is that the aircraft was flying at a relatively low altitude at the time it vanished, making it difficult to locate the wreckage. The relatively shallow depth of Lake Michigan at the location where the aircraft was last seen made it challenging for search teams to find the wreckage. Another interesting fact about the disappearance is that it occurred on the same day as a severe thunderstorm in the area. The storm was one of the worst to hit the region in decades, and could possibly be a factor in the aircraft's disappearance. Fireworks are often associated with the night, when the dark sky is illuminated with breathtaking lights and colors. But have you ever seen fireworks in the daylight? Traditionally, they are launched at night, and the contrast of bright explosions against the darkness adds to the magic and allure of fireworks, making them a popular choice for nighttime celebrations like New Year's Eve, national holidays, and special events. When fireworks are set off during the day in well-lit environments, their impact is significantly reduced. The brilliance of their colors is less pronounced, and the intricate patterns and shapes against the nighttime sky are less visible. Daylight can overpower the splendor of fireworks, resulting in a less exciting experience for spectators. Fireworks have a long history, dating back to ancient civilizations where they were used for religious ceremonies and to celebrate significant occasions. Today, people enjoy to light up the sky with fireworks to mark memorable events, express joy, and bring communities together. If you ever have the night shift and step outside for some fresh air, this video might deter ya. Especially if you live somewhere in Russia, where this video was captured. Out of nowhere, a mysterious and terrifying monster teleports onto the back of the first man and drags him across the ground. The man's colleague witnesses this and initially runs back inside. However, when he returns to take a look outside, he also gets attacked. The eerie aspect of this video's story is that both of these men were never seen again. Some people in the comments say it's a Wendigo that attacked them. The Wendigo is generally described as an evil spirit or creature that can possess a person's body. Folklore says that the Wendigo hunts humans, especially those who venture too far into the wilderness. Did the men in this video encounter a Wendigo, or are they just very skilled actors? What do you think? The following mystery has been circulating the internet for several years, in which people claim to see objects in the air that seem to float. The strange thing about this is that these objects don't seem to move and stay still in the air. Let me give you some examples. In this video, a man named Savage Mister is driving towards the airport, and suddenly he sees an airplane in the air hovering. This is not the only time this happened, because in the next video, uploaded by Sebastian Baharis, we see another airplane hovering in the air. Now, these videos might be fake, but people in the comments seem to have experienced this as well. This would not only happen with airplanes, because in this video, there seems to be a bird in the middle of the sky hanging still. So are we living in a simulation where glitches happen from time to time, or how else could this mysterious event be explained? The dance plague, also called the dance epidemic, was a strange event that happened in the year 1518 in Strasbourg, a town in France. A woman named Fra Trofea started dancing out of the blue, and within a week, 34 others had joined her. Within a week, more than 400 people were dancing, and they couldn't stop. In fact, it got so bad that some died of heart attacks or exhaustion. At one point, as many as 15 deaths a day were added. However, doctors didn't believe it had supernatural causes, and it had to do with hot blood. Others think it had to do with food poisoning, or through claviceps, a plant-like fungus that can put you into a trance. Unfortunately, it's never been fully understood how this dance plague came to be. For centuries, people have tried to figure out a way to walk on water. But in the Bible, it's described that Jesus was the only one who could walk on water. However, if we believe this picture, there are also people in the world that can do this. But I had also found a video where we see a man walking on water in the Ganga River somewhere in India. Although some people believe that he's really walking on water, there might be an explanation. It's obvious that he's in the middle of the river, but maybe the river is shallow in some places, so he's walking on a sandbar. So the question is whether there's a sandbar present in this part of the river. Because several birds can also be seen in the middle of the river, people suggest that a sandbar is therefore present. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. The Mandela effect is a phenomenon where a large number of people share false memories of a particular event or fact. The term owes its name to one of the most well-known examples of the phenomenon, the widespread belief that Nelson Mandela died in a prison in the 1980s, while in reality, Mandela was released from prison in 1990 and later became the first democratically elected president of South Africa in 1994. He passed away on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95, but many people have a different memory of this event. The Mandela effect remains an intriguing phenomenon for which no complete explanation has been found. Scientists believe it's likely to do with the complexity of human memory and how information is processed and stored in the brain. Some examples of the Mandela effect include the misspelling of well-known brand names, such as Jif peanut butter being remembered as Jiffy, and the misremembering of famous movie quotes, like Darth Vader's "Luke, I am your father," instead of "No, I am your father." Some people speculate that Mandela's death, or the prison story, is evidence of alternative realities, or parallel universes, where events may have unfolded differently in our own reality. Varig Flight 967 was a commercial flight that disappeared on January 30th, 1979, during a flight from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil to Tokyo, Japan. The Boeing 707 aircraft carried 12 members and 153 passengers, including many Japanese tourists. However, the aircraft vanished over the Pacific Ocean. One of the most remarkable aspects of the disappearance is the fact that a small amount of wreckage from the aircraft was found almost a year after the incident on the coast of Japan. The wreckage, including a seat cushion and a piece of metal, was discovered on a beach in Kanagawa Prefecture, more than 4,970 miles, or 8,000 kilometers from the aircraft's last known location. This suggests that the aircraft flew a significant distance after disappearing from the radar. At the time of the incident, the aircraft was also carrying a considerable amount of valuable artwork. The artworks, including several paintings by Brazilian artist Manabu Mabe, were reportedly worth millions of dollars and were being transported to Japan for an exhibition. Along with the valuable artworks, there were also 2 flight recorders on board, which could have provided valuable information about the cause of the disappearance. However, the flight recorders were never found, and their whereabouts remain unknown to this day. Every culture has stories about them, but scientific evidence of their actual existence has never been proven. But have you ever heard of a two-headed giant named Cap d'Oie? Cap d'Oie means 2 heads, and is derived from a Creole language spoken in the Caribbean region. Cap d'Oie is a legendary creature, claimed to be a Patagonian giant discovered off the coast of South America. According to the legend, Cap d'Oie was a two-headed giant who was 12 feet or 3.65 meters tall, and lived on a remote island in the Caribbean. The legend is shrouded in mystery and controversy, with some claiming it was a real figure discovered by sailors in the 19th century. According to some accounts, Cap d'Oie was captured by sailors in the 1800s and taken to Europe, where it was exhibited as a curiosity. It's said to have had two fully formed heads, each with its own brain, and was able to speak and communicate with people. If you want to see the two-headed giant for yourself, you have to travel to a museum somewhere in the US state of Maryland. The Margate Shell Grotto in Kent, England is a unique underground chamber, accessible via a narrow staircase beneath a residential area. The discovery of the grotto is said to have occurred by accident. In addition to the millions of shells adorning the walls, the grotto also features a variety of intricate and mysterious symbols, including an 8-pointed star in a heart-shaped design. Over the years, various scientists, historians, and experts have attempted to decipher the meaning behind these symbols, but no definitive explanations have been found. It's believed that the grotto dates back to the 18th century, although its origin and purpose remain shrouded in mystery. One popular theory is that the purpose of the grotto is that it was once used as a smuggling cave. This theory is supported by the fact that nearly all of the shells found in the grotto are native to the British Isles, suggesting that they were locally collected and possibly used as a cover for smuggling operations. However, there are also other theories, including speculation that the grotto may have been a religious or spiritual site. In the following video, a woman claims that extraterrestrial life exists. I have no idea if it's real or not, but before I show you the video, I'll give you some context on the story. In December of 2018, a mysterious triangular UFO was found above the Pentagon. As you may know, the Pentagon is the headquarters of the US Department of Defense. Many people believe that the government is in contact with aliens, while others believe that the government is engaged in covert military operations. 2 months later, a video was leaked in which a man secretly films a United Nations meeting and talks about the mysterious triangular UFO that was observed. Only high-ranking military and politicians would be present, and the woman in the video seems to indicate that the objects seen above the Pentagon may have been extraterrestrial. Could there have been aliens on Earth after all? What do you think? On New Year's Eve in 2011, a mysterious event took place in which thousands of birds fell from the sky in the American town of Beebe, Arkansas. The next day, more than 5,000 blackbirds were counted, which had possibly collided with buildings, telephone poles, and car trees. The birds might have been startled by loud fireworks set off the night before, but the story got a lot stranger when the same thing happened exactly 1 year later. Only this time, the fireworks had been banned in the city. There were also thousands of dead fish washed up in Arkansas, the reason for which is still not clear. So there are those who think that it might have to do with the end of the world, because apparently there have been other such events reported around the world. The following video went viral in 2015 and shows a city moving in the clouds somewhere in China. Although many people believe this video was edited, others say that they saw the same thing in the sky that day. To this day, there's no way to verify if the video is real or not. Experts say that if the video is real, it's probably a mirage. A mirage, also called an optical phenomenon, is where there are large temperature differences between different layers of air. But maybe it was a city from another dimension that showed up temporarily, or maybe our brains are just fooling themselves. The video footage does look pretty real in my opinion. The Piri-Reis map was a famous early world map created by the Ottoman cartographer Piri-Reis in 1513. The map stands out due to its remarkable accuracy and detail, especially considering it was made centuries before modern cartographic techniques. It originally formed part of a larger work, containing over 180 maps, charts, and portolanos. The Piri-Reis map was rediscovered in the early 20th century, and has since been a source of fascination for historians and conspiracy theorists alike. The map is renowned for depicting Antarctica, leading some researchers to believe that the continent was already known to ancient civilizations long before its official discovery in the 19th century. The map shows Antarctica as a landmass with detailed coastlines, rivers, and mountains, without ice or snow cover. This is particularly noteworthy, considering that Antarctica was officially discovered in the 19th century, more than 3 centuries after the map was created. The map also stands out for its ornate designs and intricate details, including depictions of sea monsters, eerie creatures, and various cultural and religious symbols. The disappearance of the B-47 took place on March 10, 1956, when a B-47 Stratojet bomber from the United States Air Force vanished during a training mission over the Mediterranean Sea. The B-47 was part of a formation of 3 aircrafts that had taken off from the MacDill Air Force Base in Florida and were en route to an airbase in Morocco. The bomber carried 2 nuclear capsules that were not armed, but intended for use in case of war. During the flight, the B-47 encountered adverse weather conditions, and the crew had to drop the nuclear capsules into the Mediterranean Sea. Subsequently, the crew attempted to fly to a nearby airbase in Spain, but the aircraft disappeared from radar and was never seen again. In recent years, it's been suggested that the B-47 may have had extra nuclear components on board at the time of the disappearance. The Nazca Lines are a series of geoglyphs in the sand created by the Nazca people in Peru between 500 BCE and 500 CE. They're best seen from the air, as many of the designs can only be fully appreciated from above. This raises the question of how they were made. The largest of the Nazca Lines is the Great Hummingbird, which is over 300 feet or 91 meters long. Other notable designs include a spider, a monkey, and a condor. The Nazca Lines cover an area of 80 square miles, or 130 square kilometers, and contain hundreds of individual designs. Some designs are simple geometric shapes, while others are highly detailed images of animals and other figures. Despite their apparent simplicity, the Nazca Lines are incredibly precise, with many designs having straight lines and angles that are accurate to just a few degrees. The exact meaning of these lines are not entirely clear, but they are believed to have possibly had a religious or ceremonial significance for the Nazca people. Some have suggested that the designs may have been used as a type of astronomical calendar, or as a way to communicate with the gods. Is it a frog, is it a worm, or is it both? Unfortunately, there's no explanations. What could the person have captured on camera here? At first glance, it appears to be a frog engaging in typical frog-like activities, such as hopping on a sidewalk, but upon closer inspection, it looks like a worm. However, there are various creatures that can be mistaken due to their appearance or behavior. For example, certain species of caterpillars are known for their jumping abilities and can be confused with worms or other small animals. Similarly, some frog species have long, slender bodies that can resemble a worm at first glance. But this video seems different, and it's not quite clear what we're seeing. There are certain types of worms known as spring worms, also referred to as crazy worms. They are recognized for their quick and jumpy movements. These worms are invasive species, originally from parts of Asia, and pose a problem in the United States. What's your opinion on what we're seeing in this video? Let me know in those comments. In the following video, uploaded by a Russian man named Andrei Chokhonovitz, we see an electric sphere crossing a railroad. The man would have noticed this when he was walking home and immediately grabbed his camera to film it. There would have also just been a thunderstorm, and the strange thing is that the object seems to give off an electric shock, which then hits the pole. On the internet, this glowing sphere is a big mystery. Some people think it's a lightning bolt. A lightning bolt would rarely be observed, and only after there'd been a lightning strike. Other experts say that it's not possible that the sphere is visible for a long time, and that it should rather be CGI. However, sphere-shaped lightnings are meteorological events, but they would not yet have been recorded on camera. At the end of the video, the electric sphere seems to disappear again when it approaches the forest. In 1997, a low-frequency underwater sound was observed in the South Pacific Ocean that people still debate today. The bloop, as it was called, was detected by a Russian research team, and it was initially thought that the sound came from a giant sea creature. Here's what it sounds like. Take a listen. Scientists suggest that the animal that can create this sound should be many times larger than the 25-meter blue whale. Another theory is that it's large ice movements that cause gigantic vibrations in glaciers. However, others don't believe this story because the ocean is only 5% discovered. These people think that there's a good chance that there's an undiscovered sea monster swimming around in the depths of the ocean. What do you think that noise is? Let me know in the comments. In the following video, we see some stray dogs trying to pull off the bumper of a car for some reason. The owner of the car was surprised when he saw the next day that his car was heavily damaged. Thinking that someone was probably trying to steal something from his car, he reported it to the police. But when they checked the surveillance camera of a nearby store, they saw that about 8 stray dogs were the culprits. Why the dogs destroyed the car's bumper remains a mystery even to this day. The owner who had the car had it repaired for about €550. He thinks that a cat was possibly hiding somewhere in the car. Because what else could it be? What do you think? Now we're gonna talk about the Men in Black. And no, we're not referring to the 1997 movie starring Will Smith. The Men in Black are said to exist in real life and have been a popular urban legend for decades. According to the legend, the Men in Black are a secret organization that investigates UFO sightings and other paranormal phenomena, covering up the evidence. These men are said to wear black suits, drive black cars, and have an intimidating presence meant to discourage witnesses from speaking about their experiences. Over the years, there's been numerous reports of encounters with these men, and some people believe they are real and actively working to suppress evidence of extraterrestrial life. The video you can see here shows surveillance footage of two men dressed in black suits and hats entering a hotel. They were looking for a man who was staying at the hotel and researching UFO sightings in the area. However, the man they were looking for was no longer present at the hotel, and the hotel employee later stated that the Men in Black did not appear to be real people. Another example of reported encounters with the Men in Black is the Maury Island incident in 1947. A man named Harold Dahl claimed that he and his crew had witnessed multiple unidentified flying objects in the sky above Puget Sound, Washington. After reporting the incident to the authorities, Harold claimed that he was visited by a man in a black suit, who warned him not to talk about what he had seen. Pan Am Flight 914 is a flight that mysteriously disappeared and later reappeared. On July 2, 1955, the aircraft took off from New York and was headed for Miami. However, the aircraft disappeared from radar and was considered missing. Making the mystery even greater, the aircraft reappeared 37 years later and landed at Caracas Airport in Venezuela. According to the story, the crew and passengers were still alive and had not aged. But what happened during the disappearance and during the time they were gone remains a puzzle. Several theories have been put forward to explain the mystery of Pan Am Flight 914. One theory suggests that the aircraft was involved in a case of time travel, accidentally ending up in a different time or dimension before returning to our reality. Another theory suggests that the aircraft encountered a technical issue, such as a radar equipment malfunction, causing it to disappear from radar and later be found. Although there's no definitive answers to what exactly happened to the aircraft, it remains a fascinating mystery that reminds us how much we still need to discover in our world around us. Tree pollen is a fine powdery substance produced by trees as a part of the reproductive process. It's usually released into the air during spring and autumn and can be carried over long distances by wind. However, tree pollen can vary in appearance depending on the tree species. Some types of tree pollen, such as oak and pine, are elongated and cylindrical, while others, such as birch and alder, are more spherical. The color is usually yellow or green, although it can sometimes be water brown. Tree pollen is a common cause of seasonal allergies, affecting millions of people worldwide. Symptoms of tree pollen allergies may include sneezing, stuffy nose, and itchy eyes. Believe it or not, in addition to causing allergic reactions in humans, tree pollen can also have a negative impact on the environment. Large amounts of tree pollen can contribute to air pollution and can also be harmful to plants and other organisms. Edgar Allan Poe was a 19th century American writer and poet. He is known for his dark and mysterious writings, often exploring themes of death and horror. The mystery surrounding Edgar was his own life and death. During his lifetime, he dealt with many personal issues, and the cause of his death remains a subject of speculation and mystery. Every year on the author's birthday, a masked man would visit Edgar's grave and leave 3 red roses and a bottle of cognac. Despite the tradition lasting for decades and attracting a small crowd of onlookers, each year no one has ever attempted to unmask the mysterious man. Over time, various theories and legends have emerged regarding the man's identity, with some suggesting that he was the spirit of Edgar himself. Others say he might have been a descendant of the author's family, but why he would wear a mask remains unclear. The tradition ultimately ended in 2009, when the mysterious individual didn't appear for the first time in decades. Since then, several individuals and groups have tried to continue the tradition or identify the original man, but the mystery remains unsolved. Who do you think the masked person was who was visiting his grave every year? In the following video, we see someone standing in a tall tree in broad daylight in the city of Radlong in India. Although it looks like a person, many people think it's a ghost. Because why would a person climb into a tree and stand there on its branches? It actually seems pretty dangerous, and I don't know what the point would be. Local people think it's a woman with special powers, and that she's praying in the trees every day. Others think she's possessed, and that's why she climbed into the tree. However, this is not the first time the person was found in a tall tree. In this video, we see the woman standing in a tree again. According to the stories, she would be praying and dancing for hours in the tree, which, by the way, it's between 8 and 9 meters high. Whether the woman was possessed or indeed has magical powers is unclear, but it's definitely very mysterious. In May 2013, a strange foamy substance was found in the middle of a street in the Puqiao district of Nanjing, China. The strange stuff was said to have emerged from a crack in the road, and it gradually began to cover the entire area. Many people who were in the area came to take a look, and they said it had a foul smell. When the area was sealed off by police, the substance moved back to where it came from after a few hours. There were so many theories given on the internet about what exactly it could have been. Some think it had to do with chemicals mixed with sewage, or that they were possibly working on an underground construction of which something had gone wrong. What happens in this video is, in my opinion, one of the scariest things I've ever seen. You see, in the Mexican city of Saltillo, there's a Christian church building with a statue of Jesus Christ. In this video, shot sometime in 2016, we see a person filming the building and the statue. After a while, the statue of Jesus seems to open its eyes. Many people in the comments say it's a sign from God, while others say the video footage was edited. A few seconds after Jesus opened his eyes, he also closes them again. This moment in itself is creepy enough, but the fact that Jesus appears to be staring into the camera is even scarier. People of faith say that one day Jesus will return. Could this be a taste of what is to come? Or has the video been tampered with? What do you think? What did you think was the most mysterious event on this list? And have you ever experienced something mysterious yourself? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.